Who was Cú Chulainn in Celtic Mythology Part 1? The tale of Ireland's possibly most famous hero began in pre-Christian times. His deeds, courage, and tragedy of his life would echo throughout the ages and become symbolic to Irish heritage. His birth was one of mystery. His mother was Diactini, the sister of King Concobar of Ulster, and one day she went missing from the capital. Later, King Concobar and some nobles were in the countryside hunting magical birds when they were beset by a fierce snowstorm and were forced to take shelter. They found a house and were greeted by none other than the legendary god Lugh of the Tua Adiranan, who had taken as his wife Concobar's sister Diactini. She was also pregnant with the god's son, and she gave birth to a boy that night, and he was named Setanta. It was decided that Concobar and the other nobles would foster and raise the boy. During his youth, the boy was strong and adventurous, and one day he went onto a playing field without asking for protection from the other boys, which is customary. Insulted and feeling challenged, the other boys attacked Setanta, trying to beat and subdue him. Little did these boys know this boy was the son of a legendary god, and he had his own powers. During this fight, Setanta was gripped by a furious rage, and his body transformed, mutated, deformed grotesquely, and grew strong. He shook from head to toe, and he became monstrous, hideous, shapeless, unheard of. His body made a furious twist inside his skin, and his knees and shins switched to the rear. One eye sucked into his head, and the other bulged out. He had become gripped by the Rheastrad, the warp spasm, and he was now a berserking monster, and his fury was terrifying. He fought the boys off viciously until his foster father, King Concobar, stopped the melee. Setanta's legend continued sometime later as he visited Chulainn the smith during a feast. Concobar had brought Setanta with him, but had forgot Setanta was also coming along later. And when asked by Chulainn if any would be coming late, he responded no. When Setanta arrived at the feast, Chulainn loosed his hound to kill the boy, believing he was an intruder. The hound was enormous and vicious, but Setanta killed the hound by smashing it against a standing stone. Chulainn was devastated by the loss of his dog, and Setanta, realizing the mistake, offered to rear a new hound for Chulainn. But until the hound was ready, he took its place, and thus Cú Chulainn became his name, Chulainn's hound. Cú Chulainn was destined for a short life. According to a prophecy from the druid Cathbad, anyone who took up arms on a certain day would have everlasting fame and a short life. Cú Chulainn heard this, but not the part about a short life, and he took up arms that day. Later, Cú Chulainn entered the Rheastrad and killed 3 men who had boasted about killing more men than all others in Ulster. He had to be calmed by 3 bare-breasted women to embarrass him and dunked in water to cool him down. His strength and prowess were growing. His legend began in Celtic mythology.